Nine ini, eh? Nine uyangithuka.
Ulala wena, ulala wena.
Fear, you won't take me down. Hate, you won't steal my crown. A king with no kingdom, a prince with no peace. You've had your day, yeah, but today that's not me. 'Cause when I walk through the fires of life now, won't be afraid, no, won't be afraid, no. God, you walk through the fires with me, so I won't be afraid, no, won't be afraid, no. I cast my cares up with faith like a child, oh, no matter what, no matter what. When I walk through the fires of life now, won't be afraid, no, won't be afraid, no. Keep on, yeah. Keep on, yeah. So now we soldier on. Yeah, love be the first and the last word on our tongue. Fight the good fight, push back the darkness, light up the night, light it up, light it up. When I walk through the fires of life now, won't be afraid, no, won't be afraid, no. God, you walk through the fires with me, so I won't be afraid, no, won't be afraid, no. I cast my cares up with faith like a child, oh, no matter what, no matter what. When I walk through the fires of life now, won't be afraid, no, won't be afraid, no. I can feel my soul getting freed now, laying all my burdens down, I'm free now, singing hallelujah, I'm redeemed now. I can feel my soul getting freed now, laying down my burdens, I'm free now, singing hallelujah, I'm redeemed now, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Hey, vibrant community, welcome to Bible Club.
The show that's your portal to good vibes, laughter, and invaluable life lessons. How's everyone doing, Vibe Tribe? We've curated an extraordinary experience for you today. From wisdom-packed moments to captivating interviews, grab your favorite snacks, get comfortable, and let's embark on a journey of positive vibes together. We're unraveling essential life lessons, sharing stories that resonate, and who knows, there might be a surprise or two that'll leave you inspired. You know what time it is? It's time to take off. Buckle up, Vibe Tribe, because the Vibe O'Clock starts now.
What's up, YPG fam? What is up? I hope you guys are doing well. I hope everybody's had a good day today. I'm sure that where you were, the zhuzh was not lacking if you were with the YPG in your respective branch. I am sure that indeed, wow, it's already starting, guys, but indeed, I'm sure that the zhuzh was not lacking at all. Hope you guys are doing well today. I am once more I am once more, yes, I am once more riding solo. I am once more riding solo. PJ is unable to join with us today, but there is something which he is going to share with us, and we are going to play it here at the Vibe O'Clock. You're going to just have to bear a little bit. You're going to have to hold on just a little bit, because he has a message. He has a message for all of us today, as Kamogelo says here. Indeed, guys, the English. It's not Englishing today, guys. Today the English is not Englishing, guys. The bundles are already taking. Yes, my English bundles, guys, are depleted. I had such a long day at the grounds, but it was a nice day. We had the fam from Deepdale come and visit us, so shout out to them. It was an amazing day with them in the project of the YPG. It was a very nice day with them. So we are going to get to business very, 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 very soon. And as I said, I want you guys just to hold on, just kancane. There is something that PJ has for us today, and he's going to share with us. I repeat, he could not be with us today, but he will share something here with us on the Vibe O'Clock, which all of us will have a listen to, and I'm sure that it's going to be something proper. So I'm going to go for a very quick break. As we prepare, we're going to be having the weather forecast. We're going to be having the fun fact of the week. We're going to be having some life stories, as you guys have been witnessing these past few days on our social media platform. We are spreading the support, the zhuzh, the love in this month of September. You know, it is the Yellow September, and we're going to be talking more about this as we go. So it's going to be something proper, and I know that is going to be a vibe. So we are going to be back in a bit.
We'll be back in a flash with more laughter, listens, and surprises. Stay tuned, stay groovy. It's Vibe O'Clock.
Take the sandals of your feet. The place you're walking on is holy ground. These words were spoken by a timeless God, endless forever, multiplied by eternity, compounded to infinity. He is the giver of time. You cannot control it, increase it, decrease it, speed it up, slow it down, nor can you extend it, but it carries your whole life. It's a workshop where realities are made. It's a spiritual commodity, a university that can turn your life around. A great institution whose potentialities are practically unlimited, precious than diamonds, purified like gold, sanctified like marriage, sacred like the New King James Version. Your choices on time can either drag you down or make you real. To be or not to be is in a choice, but choice on time is the only fact there is. You are where you are. You are what you are. You are what you think you are. Your habitual inclinations on time determines who you are. You think, therefore you are. Your mastermind group is incredibly important because of the simple process that you become who you spend your time with. And you're not even aware that you've been with me for the past minute.
I simply love this poem. I simply love it. It goes down every time I watch it. I simply love it. But today it's not about the poem. It's not about the poem at all today. I'm going to bring on Lebo to give us the weather report and to give us that fun fact for the week. Last week's one was proper. I loved it. I'm sure you guys loved it as well. It went down, and I know she has something special for us this week. So let me get Lebo on board here, guys. Just a second. And whoa, okay, she just covered. Okay, there she is. I think it was a magic trick. Lebo, how are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good. Thank you, Lebo. So, Lebo, I'm keen to see. I didn't go through the fun facts as of yet, but I'm keen to hear all about it. But I'm excited. But first, we're going to start with the weather, and then you're going to take us through the fun fact of the week.
Okay.
Let me put it on here for you. You can take over. The show is yours.
Good evening, YPG fam. We are back once again with the weather report. So as you can see in Cape Town, it's a cool 16 degrees Celsius, and in Johannesburg, a warm 29 degrees. So you guys over there can have, you know, your sunscreen. You don't need your jacket tomorrow. You don't need any outfits tomorrow. You just need sunscreen, your bottled waters, and everything. And there are places where like it's 39, like in Musina, 39. So you guys need like a whole 2-liter bottle just to stay hydrated, and caps, you know. Will need it definitely tomorrow. In La Palala, 38, Gaborone 37, in Mbab.
Yo, I'm not the only one today. Yes, that's what matters. I'm not the only one today, guys. The bundles are low, guys.
No. It has to come out. Mbabane, yeah. 27 degrees.
Shout outs to Swaziland. I mean, Eswatini. Shout out to the fam that side.
So you guys there to have your bottle of waters, have your sunscreen, have your cap. In our Merlot, 29 degrees Celsius. Valcom 29. In Durban, 22 degrees. So it's not too hot in Durban. So you guys can just, you know, have sunscreen, the skin, and I think you'll need your jacket, because 22 is not too warm. It's just in between. So you'll need your jacket here and there. And then Cape Town, of course, 16 degrees Celsius, which is considerably warm. It's very warm, 16 degrees Celsius, because, yeah, last time it was freezing on 13, 16, but this time around we can take off our jackets because it's a 16, but it's a warm spring 16. It's not like that winter cold 16 degrees Celsius that we had in the previous months. But yeah, it's a spring 16. And then in East London, 22 degrees, Gqeberha 21, and Beaufort West 23, George 18 degrees Celsius, and then, yeah, Polokwane 33, so it's very warm in Polokwane. So you can...
Yeah, as long as I'm not the only one today, Lebo, it's fine.
English it's not even English, it's the pronunciation now of the words. Polokwane, yeah. 33 degrees Celsius. So you guys can have your sunscreen, your caps to stay, you know, cool for the warm weather. And that is it from the weather segment for today.
So, Lebo, Kamogelo says Cape Town needs jackets. I think so too.
Nowadays, we're winging it without jackets because it's like spring weather. Like Monday, it was very, very hot Monday. And then for the first time on Thursday, I wore slides. So which is, we're getting somewhere in Cape Town.
There's an improvement.
There's an improvement. It is not as chilly and cold as, you know, during those previous months, like last month. So in Cape Town, we take off our jacket, we are transitioning to taking off our jackets.
This comment finished me here. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Lebo. It says, Kanti, 16 has different temperatures. There is a cold and a warm 16.
It depends on the season. It depends. Because if you would have asked me if 16 degrees Celsius was warm last month, I would have said it's cold. It is freezing cold. It is cold. Wear your jacket on that 16 degrees Celsius last month. But now we're in spring. So this 16 is quite different when it's spring. It's warmer. So it's not the same as the 16 from last month because the seasons are changing.
Okay. But I'm sure it's windy, right? Has it reached that windy stage yet in Cape Town?
No. It was windy on Sunday, I think. It was very windy, but then usually when it's windy, we know the next day it's going to be very, very warm, in which it was warm on Monday. So when it's windy, it's like the evening and all that. And then the next day it's warm.
Okay. I'm just having flashbacks because when it gets windy in Cape Town, you guys need to hold on to like a pillar, a light pole, or something because that wind will just blow you away. I've had bad experiences. Civic Center, that place is not safe. When it's windy, it's not safe.
It's very dangerous because I remember this other time it was very windy and we were crossing on like the bridge and we were holding on to each other because we were going the other side of the bridge. It was that windy.
Yeah.
So in town, it's quite windy, especially in town. In other places it's better, but in town you can blow away. You can
literally get blown away, guys. It's unreal. I know Gqeberha is a bit worse, because that is officially the windy city, but yeah.
I never could thought of there could be a place worse than
Those in Gqeberha, they know what I'm talking about because it gets deep. Chanel says, I survived Limpopo's weather. I'll be fine tomorrow at the Holy Ground. Yeah, guys, tomorrow it's going to be hot, and we're going to talk about tomorrow very soon because a weekend at the grounds is always heated. Always heated. If you're from Cape Town, you can come to the grounds. You know, if you book your flights now, you can come and enjoy that heat as well. But Lebo, I want us to move to the fun facts. I don't want to dwell too much on the weather, or else we're going to go back to roasting Cape Town's weather and now let's make peace, guys. Let's make peace. So Lebo, what's the fun fact for the week?
So today's fun fact is on psychoanalysis. So psychoanalysis was found by Sigmund Freud, and it's quite interesting because it's like the belief that the unconscious, it says it focuses on exploring mind to understand and resolve deep-seated emotional issues and conflict. So those deep issues and conflicts arise from material that was often repressed in childhood that you were not expressing. So it's the belief that those unconscious material now that affect our behavior stems from unconscious material from your childhood that was often repressed or not allowed to be expressed. Instincts, drives, and all that. So it now today affects the behavior in which, we portray. It can be a certain phenomenal or certain thing, but then it's the belief that it stems from somewhere in childhood with the repression of certain instincts, drives, and motivations that were repressed and not allowed to be expressed. So psychoanalysis posits that much of our behavior is influenced by unconscious processes. As expressed, those unconscious processes stem from repression from childhood. So if, for instance, you were not like doing certain things in childhood because I don't know how to explain it. It's like you not exercising a certain behavior, or you wanted to, but then you did not in childhood, that will somehow affect you in now adulthood, because it will somehow arise, but in a different way.
Is it like a trauma?
It differs. It can be as much as simple tasks, daily tasks, like learning how to do certain things in childhood, like drawing, autonomy drawing, expressing yourself in childhood. But then maybe if you were in an environment in that childhood where you were not autonomous and you were repressed from being autonomous, later in adulthood, you will have somehow issues where you don't find yourself being able to express the way that you would have, because you did not express yourself freely in childhood because it was repressed.
Ah, okay. I think I'm getting it. Sorry, just don't mind my. I'm really like dissecting it because I find it interesting. So if something happened in the past, it's basically you're telling me that I can't sort of develop it in the future, like as I grow. So if I'm not as expressive when I was a child, in adulthood, that won't really like come out. I'll be a very quiet to myself kind of person, right?
Yeah. So it's like the beliefs, like behaviors that we often displayed or portrayed in childhood somehow affects us in adulthood. So if you were not expressive, or there was certain things that you were repressed from doing that you wanted to do but you were not given the space to, those can somehow occur later on in adulthood. And it stems from many things like traumas, certain tasks, autonomy kind of things, like as elaborated on the part where you were in, maybe in preschool, and not allowed to be expressive as you would have wanted to, and then now it's somehow being manifested now in adulthood, that kind of behavior.
Ah, makes sense. So let me get this straight. Let's take can we I think we can use babies for this. Because babies are very adventurous. They like exploring, like babies will climb chairs and cupboards and they want to be Spider-Man because they're all over the place. And then with time a parent will reprimand them and say don't do this or don't climb up, and then they'd get a beating. And because of that, as we grow, we tend to lose that sense of like adventure and exploring because it gets suppressed as we grow. Like
Yeah.
a baby putting their finger in a plug and then getting shouted at because like you can get shocked, and then there'll be less exploring, I guess is the word. Because they'll remember that this I was told not to do it. So it kind of like sets barriers for people to like kind of explore and live the way they should, in a sense, live. That's why I'm thinking of babies, because babies, try and stop a baby from doing anything. It just wants to keep on going and keep on going. But every time it gets told the baby gets told by the parents to stop, then it starts having a less sense of exploring and climbing and jumping and doing what babies do best, right?
Yes. Yes, exactly that. And they may not necessarily remember the trauma, that that whole process, but the brain recollects all of that, and it is kept in the unconscious. So there's three dissections in like the brain, personality, the structure of the mind and personality. It's your unconscious, your pre-conscious, and your conscious. So those now stay in your unconscious. They become inaccessible, but then they are expressed through the behaviors that are now occurring later on in adulthood. But then pre-conscious, it's the ones that you have access to, that you can draw from here and there. And then conscious is the ones that you are aware of, that you have an understanding of, that you have a clearer perspective on. So those repressions will stay in your unconscious mind and will occur later on in life through consciousness with the behaviors that now, occur because of it. That's why in most cases, when you hear a psychologist asking, tell me about your childhood, I want to hear about your childhood, they're not necessarily like trying to know how your childhood was like, but they're trying to understand the behavior that is now ongoing, and is it somehow stemmed to your past, the repressions that were in childhood. So when they say, tell me about your childhood, I want to know about your childhood. So they're trying to make sense of where, it could have affected, where could have, the repressions occurred and how. Yeah.
Okay.
And then,
Okay. You were saying, sorry to cut.
yeah, there's even like defense mechanisms on now how, when these behaviors occur, how the mind reacts to it. So there are many different ego defense mechanisms. This is when like the ego is now attacked because you're now the unconscious material that you had no idea of is being conscious, so it's somehow an attack, and your mind tries to react to that in different ways. So one of the ways in which these ego defense takes place is through repression, which is repression is threatening or painful thoughts and feelings are excluded from awareness. So you're not really dealing with that unconscious material, but you're like putting it aside and like, oh no, I don't want to deal with that. So you're excluding it from awareness. And then denial is closing one's eye to the existence of a threatening aspect of reality. So you're denying that situation. This could be the reason why I'm behaving this way. This could be the reason why, okay, this may be occurring. So it's like your brain's trying to deny that all of it ever happened. So it's trying to, not deal with it. And then reaction formation is actively expressing the opposite impulse when confronted with a threatening impulse. So how your brain deals with this is that instead of now remembering the situation as, because the unconscious material now is now attacking your conscious, so it will try to react in it with a different kind of way. So instead of now maybe being angry at why it occurs, your brain will be like, okay, try being kind to this and this, because this may have happened because of this and this and the other. So it's a reaction formation. You're reacting the opposite way of how you would have wanted to react in that certain situation. So that's one of the ways in which your brain reacts to the unconscious material that is occurring and affecting the behavior. And then projection is attributing to others one's own unsatiable desires and impulses. So you're not really dealing with the unconscious material that is being expressed, but then you're projecting it to others, and somehow in negative ways. It's often associated with negative ways in which we project these behaviors to others. But it also goes with the situation, with the unconscious material that is now provoking the consciousness. So it goes with the kind of material, whether it's positive or negative. And then displacement is directing energy towards another object or person when the original object or person is inaccessible. So you're not dealing with it, the unconscious material, but instead you are displaying it or disposing it to someone else or projecting it to someone else instead of dealing with it. And one of my favorite ones is sublimation. So sublimation is when now you're dealing with the unconscious material that is being expressed in a socially acceptable way. So it's like, for an example, um maybe you now have anger issues that stem from a very painful childhood where there was a lot going on at home. And instead of now projecting this to others and being angry or snapping at people, you're dealing with it in a socially appropriate manner. And this can be like, instead of like projecting it to people, you now go to boxing classes because you want to ease the anger. So instead of now projecting it to people, you deal with it in a socially appropriate way with boxing. So you see how you're taking that anger and turning it into something positive in a manner that will benefit you. So yeah, those are one of some of the ego defense mechanisms that we deal with when the unconscious material is attacking the conscious. So that's how our brain reacts. And in many cases, scenarios, we don't even understand or know it, but it's just unconscious. But then when you really think about it, it's like, oh, okay, this and this. Oh, I was reacting like this. And from there, we are able to alter and see where we can fix.
That's crazy. This is crazy. I'm laughing here at some of the comments because people are asking for translators. Some were lost between the conscious and the unconscious. But it's mind-blowing. I think this is very interesting because, long story short, and Offense well put it here, the goal is to make you aware of the root of psychological problems and help you resolve the issues in order to bring about a positive change and growth. At the end of the day, yeah, those I had years back an experience with a psychologist myself in school when I went through a phase of my depression, and they made me do some weird test, and then we spoke and so forth. But at the end of the day, I understood they're just trying to get to the bottom of everything, like what's making you the way you are right now. So this can stem from childhood experiences. Matsidiso was asking if this also relates to people getting bullied from a young age, because it might not happen at their homes but might also happen outside. I don't know if my question makes sense. That's what she says. But I would agree that it also does occur with bullying and so forth. Chanel was mentioning here, children raised with belts react differently to the ones raised without the belt. And it shapes the child differently because the reaction and everything that comes with it is, it's scarring, and it leaves a mark on your life, whether you like it or not. So this is very interesting because this is probably the best methodology to get down to the root of the reason why we behave the way we behave, which is very interesting. This is very cool. We did get a bit lost within the matrix, consciously, pre-conscious. And today I learned there's a word called pre-conscious. I didn't know. So my vocabulary has expanded. Melissa says, this is too much for my brain. But it was cool. I think it was very cool because it's mind-blowing. Like it's something we're not used to hearing. It's not content we are used to being exposed to as much as we should. And for me, this is amazing. And I think it also helps because when we do our work, since it is September and we are focusing on mental health and all these things, at some point we also have to do a bit of a psychoanalysis to go back and understand what caused the change within that individual, what made them maybe isolate themselves or change the way they dress and carry themselves and all of these things. So this is really cool. This is awesome. Thank you so much, Lebo. You have blown our minds one more week. I'm excited to see what's going to come next. And I want PJ to be here to experience it with me because, wow, this is really awesome content, very educational, very informative. And we, as the YPG, honestly, we do appreciate it, Lebo. You are taking our minds, you're making them take off to the next level. So it is proper stuff.
Even the nice thing about like psychoanalysis is something that you can very much do yourself, that you can very much think and evaluate yourself, Because when you like hear it the first time, because when I was studying all this myself, I was like, okay, so this is how, this was happening and this and this and the other. So it's very much something that, one can evaluate themselves and try to, yeah, so that's the nice thing about it.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's something that we can do, something which we avoid doing, self-introspection, looking within and evaluating and assessing. Tell someone to introspect. It takes a lot. But at the end of the day, it helps you understand you better. I think as well, this helps us to be a bit more self-aware. And young people, we tend to avoid the concept of self-awareness. We do need to know ourselves and understand ourselves so that we can be better versions of ourselves. So this is a good way to approach it. I really, really, really did like this a lot, honestly speaking. This was proper stuff. Lebo, thank you so much. And we are excited to see what you have for us next week. And as I said, I'm hoping PJ will be back with us to experience it, because wow, this is some really educational stuff, mind-blowing, mind-opening stuff. Thank you so much, Lebo.
Thank you, Uncle Vinny.
Till the next time. All right, people. So that takes care of that. That was really awesome. I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I'm going to go a little bit into it as well. And it's going to be something super proper. I am not alone, by the way, today in the Vibe O'Clock. There are 2 guests with me. And I am going to bring them on shortly just after this little quick break. And we're going to continue here, the zhuzh here in the Vibe O'Clock.
We'll be back in a flash with more laughter, listens, and surprises. Stay tuned, stay groovy. It's Vibe O'Clock.
I love this thing. I love the sound of the Vibe O'Clock here. Oh, it's catchy, guys. I was bumping my head to it now. Now, I want to bring on here with me Tato and Laurentia. They are going to be sharing with us a little bit about their story. I have a video which I'm going to play about the 2. But before, I would love them to introduce themselves. Ladies, how are you guys doing this evening?
We are good, and yourself, Uncle Vinny?
I am great. I'm great. So who's Tato? Who's Laurentia here?
I'm Laurentia.
And I'm Tato.
Whoa. Can we do that again? Tato? Who's Tato here?
I'm Laurentia.
Okay, there's Laurentia.
And this one is Tato.
And there's Tato.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tato.
Great. Because when you said it at the same time, I'm like, my head started turning left and right. Left and right. But okay, before we get into your story, I want to play here this quick video for us to have a little understanding of who they are and the story behind, and then we are going to take it from there. So let's just have a look real quick, fam.
Gabriel, what's good today?
New breed. New breed. Look, you do not know me. I am a new breed. You do not know me. Like, hold up, who's he? You do not know me. I am a new breed. You do not know me. Like, hold up, who's he? You do not know me. I got.
This is nice. The before and the after is beautiful. I'm assuming this is the fam from KZN because I'm starting to see a lot of lions on the comment sections. I'm starting to see here Amabuto. So I am assuming that yours are from eThekwini, correct?
Yeah. Muto all the way.
Nice, nice, nice. Offense is asking if you guys are twins.
No.
Not even close.
Serious.
Yeah.
Did y'all come to the YPG together?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. So then, I want to hear your story. You're gonna take it back a little bit. We're gonna rewind before you guys came to the YPG. Number one, how did the two of you meet each other? Let's start there.
Our meeting is actually a very funny story. We had gone for interviews at a place, and I had seen her amongst the crowd that was there. And somehow there was something that intrigued me about her. So I decided that I want to be her friend. So I approached her and I basically forced her to become my friend.
I didn't want to be her friend.
How did you force her to be your friend?
What did I say?
She came up to me and then she said that, how are we going to be friends if you are introvert? So from today, I'm going to be your friend.
Okay. Wow, that's interesting. Now tell me, what was your state at that stage of life? Were you doing fine? Were you doing well? Or was life not the way you kind of envisioned it to be? I don't know if my question makes sense.
Okay, for me, at that stage of life, it wasn't the life that I had envisioned as I was growing up. For me, I was just trying to get by. That's why I went to that interview in the first place, just so I wouldn't go back home, just to stay in Durban.
And how was life at home? Before I come to you, Laurentia, I just want to find out from Tato, how was life at home?
Life at home, I grew up with a strict parent, so she wouldn't allow me to go out, go late with friends, and I wanted to do my own thing. And also with the state that I was in, she didn't understand who I was. So I didn't want to be at home because I felt like I was in prison. I wanted to be on my own.
And with that idea of like wanting to be your own, were you like wanting to explore like life beyond home? Like, I'm sure you saw your friends doing things, and was that your case? Where you kind of wanted to live the life they were living?
In a way, yes, because at home, my mother was already in the church. So I wanted to experience life outside of church. I wanted to experience what my friends kept on telling me about whilst we were still in high school. So being at home, honestly, it was holding me back. So I wanted to explore.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest challenges with everyone who grows up already, you're heading towards the YPG, because you were told of this life that you shouldn't kind of go for and live. But at the same time, there's that curiosity that builds up inside of you. Like, why is it that I can't taste this or see this? Which I imagine is your case. Like, you had this curiosity to find out what is life like, out there. Because here we are reserved. I mean, we have our fun, but it's not portrayed the same way as maybe your friends have. And with that, did it lead you to take certain decisions which, that went against your parents?
Yeah.
Like what?
That's exactly. In a way, because she was already in the church, so in her eyes, I was supposed to be this girl, this good girl, this angel who didn't have bad friends, who didn't want to experience things outside or rather explore, but to grow up in a way that she taught me and in a way that I was taught in the church. But me, I needed to take decisions of, no, I'm my own person, so I can't be going in a way that I was taught at home. I need to find my own way. So that's how everything started.
You want that sense of independence, like, I know what I'm doing, this is my life and everything. Typical
Yeah,
young.
that's exactly.
it's a typical young people problem because we always feel like we're in control, we know what we're doing, blah blah blah. I call the shots. I want to ask you,
Yeah, that's true.
Tato, before I go to Laurentia, what was like the extreme like pain you went through? Because I'm sure you took some decisions, you lived the way you wanted to live. What did that lead you to do, number one? How did that make you feel, number two? And did it actually complete you? Did you actually have that sense of like, this is where I need to be?
So what I needed to do in order to, in a way, have my own independence was um, go out and live by myself. And the decisions I had to take was to cut off the life that I already had, which was the life of the church, the life of the way my mom brought me up. And I started finding new friends, which honestly, they taught me things that I didn't even think I would know or actually do. So all the decisions that I took at that moment that I was taking them, it felt as if, okay, this is the right decision for me, you know. People would also say, you see, you were wasting your time being at church, you were wasting your time being this goody two shoes girl. See how life is now. See how much fun you are having with us doing all these things. However, at the lowest point in my life, where I realized that all of this actually didn't really help me or it was not worth it, it was when I was alone and I had fallen sick, and the people that I thought would have my back were not there, and that's where I started resorting to self mutilation just to fill in that void that I was feeling, or and also in a way, the self mutilation was a cry for help to the people that I thought would help me, but I didn't get the help.
Tato, one more thing. With the self-mutilation, a lot of people see it as a coping mechanism. You know, I think it's that one moment where you'll cut yourself and you'll feel like, at least this moment I can sort of let off what I'm feeling. Would you get that sensation where it would put you sort of like level-headed again? Or would it actually make no difference and you would still feel like that emptiness inside of you?
To be honest, it made no sense because once you think about it, you do think that this will actually fill the void that I'm feeling at this moment. But once you do it, you feel worse because firstly you have the physical pain and the emotional pain is still there. So it really doesn't help.
That's true, because I know a lot of people are going through this right now and we resort to different things to cope. And I was very curious to know about this because I had my phase of depression, but I never went as far as cutting myself. So I always thought, does this thing really help me cope? Does it really help me, calm the nerves and bring me back to my senses? But in actual fact, it doesn't. It just continues. It kind of like extends the pain. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but in that moment you feel fine. Yeah, that's crazy. Now, Laurentia, I want you to rewind a little bit and sort of tell me a little bit about your side of the situation.
Okay, Uncle Bunny. So for me, growing up, I grew up without parents. My mom and my dad died when I was 10 months, and I grew up being told this, obviously, because I didn't know them at all. I did have a brother who my grandmother raised him and I, but he also passed away like when I was maybe 18 years old or so. So growing up for me, the story that I was told is that my dad had shot at my mother. On my left foot, I actually have a bullet wound of my father's gun because he used to be a policeman. So because of this, he shot at my mother and then he wounded me, and then afterwards he also shot himself. That's how they died. So I grew up with a lot of anger towards my father because I felt as if me not having him and my mother around was completely his fault. So we were raised by my grandmother. Obviously, as time continued on, she got older. So came a time where now life kind of took a turn. Instead of me now being the child, I suddenly had to become the adult at a young age. Because my grandmother, she had something which is called dementia. It's something that it confuses the mind a lot. So she used to have a lot of attacks. She used to have panic attacks. She used to see things that didn't exist. She basically became like a baby. So there I was, trying to figure out myself also, having to also take care of her. And because of what was going on at home, I felt as if she also was holding back my life. So having this anger because of what my father done, I also now had more anger because of having to take care of my grandmother. And I tried reaching out to my relatives because I didn't have a mom or a dad to talk to. So my relatives were the closest people that I could try and reach out to. But when I done so, they also rejected me. I felt as if they didn't care really about what was happening inside of me because it was a lot. Being young, still going into school, having to take care of my grandmother, take care of the household, it was overwhelming for me. I remember there was this one time where she had an episode and I walked out of the house and I left her all alone because I was so angry and I was fed up of the life that I had. So my family, they rejected me. So from there, I was this person who was very open as I tried reaching out to them to let them know how I was feeling, that I couldn't do it all by myself. But once I saw that they weren't listening and it's as if they didn't care about what was going on with me, that's when I sort of became somebody who was closed. I stopped expressing myself verbally, and then I started expressing myself in many different ways. The anger inside of me grew really bad to an extent whereby I was very rebellious at school. I was somebody who had quite a lot of friends. And with these friends, I used to do a lot of stuff. I used to go to nightclubs every weekend. I got involved in drugs very, very deeply. I was somebody who started to skip at school. And if my relatives, they would try to talk to me or reach out to me because they could see the way in which I was living, that it was only going downhill for me. Because of everything that I was doing with the drugs and alcohol, it even affected me very badly at school. So when they tried to talk to me, I would just snap and I wouldn't listen to anything that they have to say to me. It was so bad to a point where one of them had told one of my friends that they're afraid of me because if they tried to talk to me, I would just lash out because I was so angry on the inside. And for me, because I felt that nobody listened to me, so I expressed myself through drinking. I expressed myself through smoking. I felt as if I was normal only if I had smoked, only if I was actually high. If I was not high, then I didn't know who I actually was. I didn't know anything about myself. I didn't understand myself. And because of what growing up without a father, I also then decided that I'm going to become the man in my family because we were mostly female. So I recognized that there was no male figure. So I said, I'm going to change my identity for me to become the man in my family. So that's where I began to change the way I dressed. I began to change the way in which I done my hair. I began to change the people, the crowd that I used to hang out with. I used to now hang out more with boys because I'm looking to adapt more of the way a boy actually is than a female. And because of me changing my identity, I then also began to date the same sex. So me dating the same sex was basically me looking for the love, for the attention that I was not receiving at home. Every time I was at home, I felt as if the walls would be enclosing in on me. I used to run away from home quite a few times for like 3 months to 6 months, just trying to get away from all the pain that I was feeling. And yeah, that's where I found myself deep into drugs and dating the same sex. I was just somebody who was just living to get by the day. I didn't really have any purpose. I honestly didn't even care about myself. All my life for that matter. If I was working, yes, but I was working mostly just for me to fulfill the habits that I actually had.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's a crazy story. I mean, wow. And it's interesting. I'm reading the comments here. Sakina was saying, if we had to look at Laurentia today, you would never say she went through that, which is wow. So from what I'm understanding, sorry, like I just had to process all of that because I'm thinking about this. Both parents gone now. You have to do school and take care of your grandmother who is struggling with dementia. How was your school marks with that? Did it drop? Did you manage to hold it down, or how did that work?
It was very, very bad, Uncle Bunny, because while I was still in school, my brother, when he was still alive, he fell sick. And he got into hospital. He was very, very bad. And it affected me to a point whereby I started to become sick. I couldn't at school I would faint continuously. I couldn't focus anymore because I was so concerned about him now being sick, and then I still have my grandmother at the same time. Up to a point whereby when I was in my matric year, which is the year that my brother he passed on, in my matric year I didn't make it. I started scraping, dropping drastically, like maybe from grade 11. And then when I got to my matric, I completely failed. I didn't make it through my matric because of everything that was going on. And I didn't care at the time because I felt even me going to school, I wasn't even doing it for myself. I felt like I was just doing it to please my family or my grandmother. So it really affected me at school very bad.
Oh, that's a lot. And then, okay, I understand from there to cope, obviously, you drank, you had all these ways in which you tried to escape, leading to the decision to sort of be the man within the situation. And I'm sure that's where the two of you met, correct?
Yeah.
And then the
Yeah.
two of you got together. And then, like, just take me through that. Like, were you both just sort of looking, and in your case, Laurentia, I believe you were looking for love. And in the case of Tato, it was the whole idea of I want to live my life and nobody has a say in my decisions. So when that happened, did you guys feel like you were heading in the right path? Like this was the solution to everything that you were feeling? Like this is going to give you that sense of love and independence? Did you get what you want when you guys actually got together?
Well, I would say at that time when we were together at work, everything didn't matter because we had each other. We would go through everything together. But after work, when we went apart to our different places where we stayed, then that's where reality would kind of kick in. That for me, the reality that would kick in would be that you know the truth, but you are still living a lie. So how is this helping you? And then I would just push it at the back of my mind and just go carry on with my life. But it was still there in my subconscious that this life is not the life that I'm supposed to be living. But when we were together, then everything would pause and everything would be fine. But as we separate, then yeah.
Laurentia, is that the same with you as well?
Yeah. When we were together, it was almost as if we weren't going through everything that we were facing. Obviously, because us coming together as well, we were also doing drugs together. We were also drinking alcohol together. So we kind of, that's the way in which we came together. But when we were apart, we would sometimes also, like I remember if I'd come back to work the next day, I would tell her about something that happened in my household because there was also a lot of violence from my relatives. So I would have to tell her that this is something that has happened. So as much as when we were together, it seemed that we had nothing going on, but reality was there, as she said, when we were apart. Nothing went away or changed during the time that we were together compared to when we separate again.
Okay. Now, I want you guys to tell me how then you managed to just make it through to the YPG, how you ended up, in Tato's case, back, and then in your case, to the YPG, Laurentia. And how did you guys manage to just pick your life and get it back together? Because what a journey the both of you have been through. And for you to pick up the pieces after so many falls, so many rejections, so many setbacks, how did you just find yourselves like whole again?
I think we reached a point where we found ourselves, I'm going to say, in a dark hole without any way of actually coming out, because we had started to live together at one point at my grandmother's house, and we had all the freedom, because obviously we didn't care about any discipline, we didn't care about what anybody had to say, we were just living our lives. So we were so deep into drugs that for me it began to affect me mentally as well, to a point whereby I was working at the time, but I had to actually resign from work because I wasn't functioning properly anymore. I was speaking in different voices. I also started to see things, my behavior, it really changed drastically. I became more violent than I actually was before. And we realized at that time that no, something is actually really wrong. And that's when Tato's mom, she spoke about the church.
So yeah, when she started having her episodes, it made me really scared, and it actually reminded me as to, there's a place whereby we can actually find help. I tried to ignore it at first. We tried looking at other places, but I called mom and I explained to her what's happening. Then she told me to look for where we can find the church. And then once we came, that's when a YPG mentor actually greeted us at the door and he introduced us to the YPG. And from there, that's how we actually started learning about ourselves. We started learning about how we can express in a way that will help us and not harm us. And that's when we started taking the decision to stop the drugs, stop the life that we are living, and just be free.
I'm sure it wasn't an easy journey for you guys. I'm sure you had a lot of back and forths because change, change, it's never like just a straight line. There's a lot of ups and downs, ups and downs. Did you guys ever have like ups and downs? Did you need to like push yourselves? Did you guys need to sort of fight against, I don't know, your feelings, your emotions, and the thoughts, and the past, and the habits, and so forth? Was it like
Yeah.
that?
Most definitely, quite a lot actually, especially when it came to the time that she had realized that she wasn't her true self in also dating the same sex. And for me, that was a bit of a confusion because I didn't understand how we would arrive in the YPG as these two people, and then suddenly along the way she tells me that she's no longer that person. So for me, that raised a lot of question marks, and and it made me look at myself to say, well, then if she sees something's wrong with her, then maybe there's something wrong with me. But I didn't like it.
I want to ask,
So
out of
the
curiosity, I think this one would be a bit more relevant to Tato because obviously you came to the YPG and you discovered that you're not being your authentic self and so forth. How did you end up breaking up the relationship? How did you even get there? Because I'm sure it must have been awkward. You might have rehearsed it like 1,000 times in your head, or you thought about it, and it's it's something like you don't want to do it because there's that level of attachment to the person, but you have to. Like, how did you get there?
So as you're saying, Uncle Vinny, I had rehearsed it 1,000 times in my head because firstly I was afraid at what would she think, and I was also afraid that if I tell her, that might drive her away and out of the YPG. But then at a random day we were walking to the YPG and I just blurted it out. I just told her that, listen, I don't think I like this life anymore. I don't think I'm into this life anymore, and this is who I truly am. And then I remember after I said those words, she just stopped walking and she just looked at me and she laughed at my face as if I was telling a joke. Yo, and I was in a way a bit embarrassed, but then I was like, yeah, this is who I am, and if you're gonna have to accept me. And then we carry on walking, and then it was dead silent until we arrived.
And for you, Laurentia, like, okay, hearing this, I'm sure you probably heard nothing in the hangout because your mind was probably asking like 1,000 questions, like how did we get here and why? I know, I can imagine how it is, but how did you take it after that? Because it's over. You're the best of like buddies, and now it's over. And how did you like? I think the scariest thing is like Tata said something interesting, is like she was afraid that you might even leave the YPG. And most people in this situation, like regardless of the kind of relationship, have that fear like, if I tell this person no, if I break their heart, they might never come back. And you kind of don't want to do that because you know the work of the YPG is somewhat impactful on everybody's lives. But on the receiving end, how did you take that and how did you still manage to stay in the YPG?
So hearing that from her, for me, firstly, it was as I didn't believe it at first because I know her. She's my best friend. So if she's gonna come and tell me something that I don't know about her, obviously I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna question it. So it was shocking, and also, but above all, it really made me scared because now I was with somebody who I thought I knew, but then now suddenly they're telling me something that I don't know about them. I thought we were like sort of the same person, but now I'm realizing that we're actually not. So instead of actually being judgmental or anything like that, I embraced and I accepted. I respected what she told me about herself. But on the other hand, I also started to look at myself then. I was like, if she's really not this way, then there must be really, am I really the way that I say that I am? And that's where, because we had already been in the church for quite some time also. So, but there and there, wouldn't really tell her, but I also would start having doubts and questions about myself. And it really confused me a lot. Somebody who I thought really knew themselves. So for me to question who I am, I had a lot of discomfort inside of me. But I saw it as a way for me to figure myself out because I thought if I'm really questioning myself, then I must not be original. There must be some sort of a crack somewhere inside of me. And that's where I started to engage myself more about what we were learning in the YPG.
Okay, that's awesome. Now, to wrap up, because wow, we really went over. The story was amazing. I loved it. Wow, it's mind blowing, but I need to keep time. I know everybody says in the comment section, 2 hours Vibe o'clock, 2 hours Vibe o'clock. Hey guys, please. I need to still wake up alive and go to the grounds tomorrow, else the fam in the grounds is going to fight. But I want you just to tell us today, the two of you, like, you came to the YPG. We know that you received guidance and steps. You've made your changes, your decisions. How's life today for the two of you?
The best way that I can describe life today is that it's real. There's no questions to who we are. Neither is there any questions to the decisions that we actually make. Yes, of course, we don't make the right decisions in everything, but today we are sure of who we are. We are sure of the things that we want, and there's no more that confusion within us. Before we had the identity of somebody else, but today we have our own original and true identity.
And also, I would like to add that today, the prison that I thought I was in is not a prison at all. It's actually a place whereby I want to be. So, yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So I want you guys to give, just to wrap it up, I want you guys to give a shout out to the Amabutos, the fam. Which branch are you guys from, by the way? Because Amabuto, I know it's the whole. So even the fam in Pinetown, they deserve that shout out, that support, and that love from you guys.
All right. Shout out to Pine Dane and Amabuto fam. Thank you so much for the support. We love you guys, and to the rest of South Africa.
This is us taking off.
That's it. This is them taking off indeed. Ladies, thank you so much for an amazing time, an amazing story. My goodness, it was mind-blowing. And I'm sure that those who are watching and going through what you guys went through will have that hope and will take that courage to, step up and seek for help and get the necessary help needed for their lives to take off. Thank you once more, ladies. You guys are the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Uncle Vinny.
Always a pleasure, guys. Stay awesome. Stay awesome. Wow. What a story, guys. What a story. What a story. It even changed where we were heading with the Viber clock. Excuse me. Before I replay their video, I just want to also take a moment, and I agree, PJ would agree with me on this, to give a shout out to the mentors, because this work is impossible without our mentors. To take the time to be patient with being patient with young people is a mission, because we are kind of difficult, but they have their own problems and they are able to set aside their situations to sit and listen to what everyone else is going through and offer that support and give that love and that care and always be ready with that smile to help those in need. What would we be without the mentors? What would we be without their support and their work? They are a great asset to the YPG, and I want to take this opportunity for us to actually appreciate the work of the mentors within the YPG, who are helping the depressed, the lost, the confused, those who are filled with anxieties and so forth. They're doing an amazing job. Perhaps they even go unnoticed by many, but I'm sure that where they are, they're making the difference and God is blessing them greatly. So I'm going to play here very quickly. It's just an appreciation for our mentors in South Africa. But I'm going to play here one more time their video, and then I'm going to play something which we are working on here this month of September, and then we're going to wrap up the Vibe O'Clock.
What's good today?
New breed. New breed. New breed. Look, you do not know me. I am a new breed. You do not know me. Like, hold up, who's he? You do not know me. I am a new breed. You do not know me. Like, hold up, who's he? You do not know me. I got.
You set my world free. I found you in the YPG.
Hi fam, it's Kindide here. Focus on improving yourself, not proving yourself. You've got this.
Don't wait for opportunities, create them.
Every great achievement starts with a single step. Make yours count.
You got this.
Forget about the former things and focus on the future. Never give up, never back down. You've got this.
One day you'll look back and be so proud that you held on. But you gotta be here to experience that feeling. Take it from us. You got this.
You set my world free. I found you in the YPG.
An amazing support, an amazing message from the mentors. Much appreciated. The mentors are here to tell us straight, you got this, guys. And I'm going to wrap up shortly. I was meant to speak about vision today, but the comment section kind of made me just understand something, that besides vision, someone said it here, the truth is the truth at the end of the day, and the truth is what sets you free. The work of the YPG is that. It's presenting to you the truth which makes you happy, the truth which completes your life, and the truth which gives you that clean conscience, peace of mind, and rest. Don't run from it. Accept it, because it's there to help you. The same way the ladies had to accept that the life they were living was a life of pretense, of deceit. It was a life where they were just harming themselves. You who are watching us right now, I want you to understand that you guys cannot run from the truth, but learn to accept it, learn to work with it, because that's what's going to give you a life of joy, of peace, of happiness. Maybe you're running from your problems. You know, sometimes we lie to ourselves thinking that this coping mechanism is going to work. If I drink, if I smoke, if I lock myself in the room all day, or if I isolate myself, I'm going to make it. That's not true, because no one can live alone. We all need each other. We all need that support. Perhaps there's that lie which you've deemed the truth, which is, I'm a burden to everyone, so I'm not going to bother anyone with my problems. That's not true, because the truth is we care about you. And the burden you are carrying right now, you're not meant to be carrying it on your own. We're here to help you. We're here to take that load off your shoulders. And that's our work this month of September. It is to offer you that support, that love, that care. But you need to reach out. Stop running from the truth. We might tell you some things which you don't want to hear, but you need to hear. As we say, we'd rather take the slap of truth or the kiss rather than the kiss of lies. Excuse me. So maybe you are this person who needs to reach out. Perhaps you're living a life of pretense. You're trying to show that you're strong when deep down, actually you're crumbling. Everything's falling apart and you need help. Talk to us. Reach out to the YPG, because we are going to help you the best way possible. The load which you're carrying, you're not meant to carry it alone. The mentors will be giving the support, even the youth. And I want to extend this to the youth who are watching me right now. You see that person who was isolated and is always alone, always, apart from the group. Go and reach out. Go and talk to that person. Go and give them that love, that support, that care. Everybody wants belonging. Everybody wants that acknowledgement. So give it to them, because you will be making a difference in the life of that person. Remember the task we had in Something Extra a while back? Don't let it end only in that week, but carry it through, because that's what's going to help you. And that's what's going to help the person next to you. We are a big family and we care for everybody and we want to support everybody. So stop running from the truth. If you're struggling, if you're going through something, stop running from reality. Come and seek help, because we're going to help you the best way possible. Now I'm going to wrap up, guys, because time is time. I have a message from PJ to everybody here right now, and I want to play it. I'm going to play it real quick before we wrap up here, the Vibe O'Clock. I'm just trying to get the audio thing because I lost it. I think I closed it by accident when I was trying to just fix things here, but I'm going to play it for you right now. Have a listen.
What's good, YPG fam? I hope you guys are taking care of yourself. It's been a minute since I was with you guys on the Vibe O'Clock, but I'm also looking forward for the photo challenge, which will commence next week, Sunday. And I'm pretty sure, I think next week, Saturday, I should be with you guys. I'm looking forward to be with you guys. I miss being with you guys on the Vibe O'Clock. It's not the same, you know, for you guys and for us. I'm sure Uncle Vinny can attest to the same, that when we aren't with you guys on the Vibe O'Clock, it's not the same. Like, you know, there's something missing on the weekend. So yeah, I want to let you guys know that soon we're going to be back. But I know you guys are all in good hands either way. Uncle Vinny or Shaka, whoever's with you guys, I know you guys are always in good and in safe hands. I just want to remind you guys that in the morrows we are going to be together. Even last week I could not be with you guys at the grounds, but tomorrow we'll be together. I want to see the juge that our fam will be bringing. I'm looking forward to it. Our mega hangout series has been insane. It's been awesome. Last week I suffered with FOMO because I could not be with you guys. But as long as, well, from the pictures I saw, you guys were having mad fun, and that's what matters. As long as you guys were having fun and that there was a lot lessons being taught, you guys enjoyed yourself, then we are happy. You know that we are together as one. That's it from my side. I will probably meet you guys then next week, but definitely Sunday for the photo challenge. I am looking forward to it. I'm sure Uncle Vinny is going to share with you guys the 3 themes, and I look forward for this. It's going to be awesome. I really look forward to seeing the pictures which we're going to be receiving. I know you guys aren't going to disappoint. North to the east, west to the south of Mzansi. I know you guys are going to kill it. That's it for me. See you guys soon, and take care of yourselves. Not forgetting, if you guys ever need to reach out, you know the YPG fam is here for you guys. Take care of yourselves. In this month of September, we're reminding people that you got this, all right? And we as the YPG fam, we got you too. Take care of yourselves, and you know it's time. You know what that means. It's time to take off.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, PJ. Yeah, guys, it's not the same without PJ. I genuinely miss him, like, on the Vibe O'Clock. It's incomplete without him, but he's going to be back. He's going to be back, and that's what matters. We want it's incomplete, you know. We need him here back with us. He is a huge part of this family here in the Vibe O'Clock. To wrap up, guys, as you heard, we're going to be having our photo challenge back on Sundays. We have our Saturdays, but Sundays we cannot leave it blank. So the 3 categories for our what you call this photo challenge is: number 1, the POV; number 2, it is hope; and number 3 is Amapiano. So I hope you guys got that. I'm going to put it here in the comment section for you. It is POV, it is hope, and it is Amapiano. Those are going to be the first 3 categories for our photo challenge, and it is going to be displayed on Sunday. We're going to have the voting and everything. The media team now, you can start stressing about the photo challenge, because we've got work to do. So I'm keen to see as well what is going to come up from all of South Africa. It's going to be something amazing, and I'm sure that it is going to be something. Tomorrow, it is going to be climbing the podium in our YPG Hangouts. You can come to the grounds, especially if you're in the Western Cape, or if not, at KZN with the Amabuto fam, or at the Val. We will be having our YPG, and everywhere else we are going to be having the YPG Hangout. I'm going to wrap up here, guys, because time is time. It is almost 8:30. It is almost 8:30, guys. Yo, you guys managed to hold me for a whole hour and a half. I know you want to. I know the 2-hour committee is there fighting for it, but we have to end off, guys. We have to end off. So that is it for today. Tomorrow, climbing the podium at our YPG Hangouts. At the ground, it'll be the Mega Hangout once more, where Warriors, the Spartans, Forever One, and Fantastic Four, the Smart Shoppers, are going to be battling it out for the number 1 spot again. But that is it, guys. Until then, stay cool, stay fresh. God bless you all.